I'm Gordon Campbell and I teach at the University of Leicester. The Bible that we are publishing is a version of the Bible published in 1611, so it's 400 years old this year. This edition is in many ways the most authentic possible version of the 1611 Bible. It differs from that Bible in one important respect, and that is the typeface. The original font of the King James Bible is black letter, which is sometimes known as Gothic, and it's very difficult for modern readers to read. We've therefore reset the text in Roman type, which is easy to read. Now that process has been exactly done, word for word and letter for letter. And if, for example, a letter is printed upside down, as sometimes happens in the original, then we have been lovingly faithful to that mistake, and we too have printed the letters upside down. The second area in which we have retained it, unlike any other reprinting, which attempts to recapture the original, is that we have kept the pictorial letters that open each chapter of the Bible. Many of these contain classical allusions, and many indeed link the figures, such as the evangelists, to other parts of the Bible in imaginative ways that are lost in modern editions of the Bible. The contents of the Bible are surprising in several ways to people who read the King James Version now. One is that the original 1611 version has 74 pages of preliminaries, including genealogies, for example, that run from Adam to Christ, and including maps of the Holy Land, ways of calculating Easter, perpetual calendars. These things are all omitted from modern editions, and yet they are an integral part of the Bible as it was published in 1611, and we include all of that. The other element that might surprise a modern reader is that we also include the Apocrypha printed between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Now, this no longer happens. The Apocrypha was dropped from Bibles by the British and Foreign Bible Society in the 19th century. But until then, all Bibles in the King James Version contained the Apocrypha, and so we include it here because it's part of the original. Now, the printing of the King James Bible achieved a very high standard. But that doesn't mean there aren't mistakes. Indeed, there are about 350 printing errors, the most obvious of which is a verse, 3 lines in the book of Ruth, that are accidentally printed twice. And these errors have been gradually eliminated from Bibles, although other new ones have been introduced. But what I've done in this case is given a simple list of the 350 errors so that readers can see the starting point of the Bible that has become the modern edition of it. Now, the characteristic of this Bible that I think I would most like to leave you with is that it was, as it said on the title page, appointed to be read in churches. To put that another way, it was a Bible that was translated with the express purpose of being read aloud. So it was read aloud in churches, in cathedrals, and indeed in private households, where the head of the house would read the Bible during family devotions. It is this that accounts for the rhythms of the authorized version, the King James Version. It accounts for its grammar. It accounts for its punctuation. It's meant to be read aloud. And I hope very much that as you read this Bible, you will attempt to read it aloud as was intended in the 17th century. You'll find it's easy to remember if you do it that way. And I wish you pleasure of examining this, the most authentic of 17th century Bibles.